Ah, good old wires. Remember them? Yes, my friends. Hang on. What? Wait, that's actually a good one. Well, not today, friends, because I've got here with me the AUVI Studio-G low latency gaming TWS earphones. Let's check them out. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So let's take a look at this AUVI Studio-G. There's the box, a pretty small box, so I kind of appreciate that. Inside is your standard fare. You get the earphones, your charging case, 3 pairs of silicone ear tips, and a USB Type-C charging cable. Okay, so here is the charging case. It's pretty compact, as you can see. Here it is compared to the Tronsmart Apollo Bold case. So very small, it's easy to fit in a pocket. So pretty good size. You probably notice these LED strips here, and when you open the lid, boom, that gave me a bit of surprise the first time that I opened the lid, but I actually like that. So you got these pulsing green lights. When the battery is charging, the lights pulse like this, but when it's fully charged, it just glows a solid green, and I think that's pretty neat. So here's the charging port on the front here. Case is really light. It does not support wireless charging, unfortunately, but that's neither here nor there for myself. So pretty cool case on the outside. And there's another cool feature that I want to show you in here. Let's come in for a closer look. All right, so you see these little numbers down here, 25, 50, 75, 100. That is basically the charge level of the case here. Now, most cases, TWS cases, have some kind of LED indicator. On this one, it's just a single little blinking LED here. It doesn't really tell you bugger all, so you got no idea. I like the way they use a numerical indicator here instead of just a flashing light. So as your battery decreases in charge, the numbers will correspond there. So right now I've got a full charge, which is why you can see 100. And while we're here, let's have a quick look at the earpieces now. You can see the little flashing LEDs on the bottom of the stems there. They're kind of AirPod style shape. So you got your stems, and the top part of the stem here is where your touch controls are. So these are fully touch controlled. Silicone tips. These are not standard tips. These are my own because, as usual, the included ones were too small for my ears. But fortunately, regular tips fit on pretty well. And another really great thing about this case is even with extra large tips like this, they fit in there just beautifully like that, snap in magnetically. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this case. But back to the earpieces. These are really comfortable. They're pretty low key. I think they look pretty cool. They feel durable enough, even though they're just plastic. But yeah, I've been banging them around for weeks. And yeah, I like the build, like the comfort. They fit in my ears nice and secure. I've been running and doing all kinds of crazy stuff with them, and they haven't fallen out. Now, first of all, the price of the Studio-G here is $59. You don't get a whole lot of features apart from that gaming mode. They're pretty standard. You get your regular touch controls. Unfortunately, there's no onboard volume controls, so you still have to control the volume from your phone or your tablet. But you know, that's pretty standard for this price range for TWS. And I'll quickly mention the battery life. The battery life for the earphones is about 5 hours for a charge, plus you get an additional three charges from the charging case here. So all up you get about 20 hours of battery life, which will get any normal person through a regular day. But for myself and my usage, using these a couple of hours a day, 1 or 2 hours a day, I can go for up to a week, sometimes over a week, without having to worry about recharging the battery. So pretty solid in terms of that. Now, before we move on to the sound, I'd like to talk about the main feature of the Studio-G, which is, of course, its low latency gaming mode. So you just do a double tap on either side will enable the gaming mode, and that is a low latency Bluetooth mode, which eliminates any lag or latency when you're playing mobile online games, for example. But it also helps if you're watching action movies and things like that, if you got any sync issues. And I must confess, I do enjoy the odd game of Call of Duty Mobile. And for a first-person shooter like that, the low latency really helps a lot. There's no delay between what you see and what you hear. So they're really good for games. But of course, that's not going to mean anything if they don't actually sound good. But that is the good news, because the Studio-G here are actually really good sounding TWS earphone. And I'll tell you why. First of all, when you think, oh, gaming headset, you probably think massive bass, muddied mids, rolled off treble, and that is often the case, but it is not the case here with the Studio-G. These actually have a really nice balanced signature. The audio quality just blew me away. From the very first listen I had, I was like, wow, amazing. I would say they actually sound probably as good, if not better, than the Apollo Bold here, which is a $100 TWS. And I mean the Tron Smart with its active noise cancelling off, because it does change the sound a lot, but I digress. So you get this nice balanced sound. The level of detail that these provide is really, really good. Definitely comparable to other wired earphones I've got in the same price range, and compared to a lot of other TWS earphones, the detail retrieval is superior. But they do that without having a really boosted treble, which is key. So let me break it down a bit more, and I'll start with the bass. Now, the bass is boosted north above neutral. It is a really nice punchy bass. It's got a nice weight to it. The sub bass rumble is really satisfying. So for music, whether it's those deep sub bass notes or whether it's a movie or game, you get those big explosions. These will rumble in your ears really nicely, but it is a controlled bass. It's not loose or flabby. It is really well done. Not perhaps as textured or well defined as some audiophile tuned earphones, but it is a good quality bass nonetheless. The mid-range doesn't really sound recessed here, so I guess you could call these a U-shaped or perhaps a W-shaped sound signature, but the mid-range is nice and forward. It's a very expressive sound. It's a full-bodied sound, but it doesn't sound thick, and it's certainly not muddied up or anything. But very nice clear mids. Vocals, both male and female, sound pretty good, and there's no graininess there. The clarity is good, and the overall resolution of the sound is good on these too. And finally, that leaves us with the treble. And the treble on these is nice and crisp. It's clear. Like I mentioned, the detail retrieval is excellent, but the treble itself is not sharp. It's not bright, or it doesn't sound boosted abnormally. It is, like I said, balanced with the mids and the bass, but somehow the treble brings across this great detail. It sounds quite airy, but no sibilance there, no harshness or stridency, so it's very smooth, yet it's lively, and it's just another part of the great all-around sound that the Studio-G provides. Now, of course, for a lot of gaming, soundstage plays a big part, and the Studio-G excels in that department as well. The soundstage on these is really, really good. It is not the largest or the most expansive stage that I've heard. It's kind of average in size, but where these really excel is in their imaging. There's a very nice sense of depth and layering in terms of depth, so you can get a good idea of positioning within the soundstage, the distance of people or objects around you in the game, and it's a really well done 3D holographic sort of image that these create. Very, very surprising, the audio quality of these earphones, and of course it not only just for games, but when you're listening to music, the soundstage is also really nice as well. So overall, I'm really pleased with these, and I don't know if you can see, but they do look quite used, and that's because whenever I'm playing a game, or if I head out and pick up a set of TWS recently, I keep picking up these because that sound, their reliability, and that low latency mode, it all just works together, and these are now one of my favorite, probably my favorite sub $100 TWS pair at the moment. And that about wraps it up, guys, for the Studio-G. So I think these are really, really good, actually, especially if you're into mobile gaming or movies specifically. But they also work really well just for music as well. So I'm very pleased with these. I can't wait to see what AUVI does next. And yeah, that's it, guys. So if you got some value from this video, I would appreciate a like down below. And if you're new to this channel, want to see more audio reviews like this in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget there is a link to the full written review down below in the description, as well as links to all my social media channels. And yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.